And this is where it all begins. Sort of. Kind of began for me, in a way. This is a Google Map view of a little pathway here on the University of Iowa campus. It's a place I've been, campus, as well as this particular bit of sidewalk, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been on here. By the river here. It's a pretty cool place. Could even see Stanley and Burge dorms up there. The what's this? Courier Hall? No, Courier's. Courier's back here. Oh, I forget the name of the dorm over here. It's the I believe the chemistry building there. The crazy laser lab building here. Yeah, it's pretty nice, isn't it? Not quite pastoral, but a modern day campus in the Midwest. Views of the far side of the river. I think one of these buildings is the art museum. It might be this one. I don't remember what that one is. But the reason we're here is because today is the day of the Iowa Caucuses, and there are other videos that give more, I guess, details about the general vibe of things, but I guess I want to talk a little bit about my own experience there, because I did participate in the caucus once. Kind of sucked, honestly. The process took place in this building right here. This is the Iowa Memorial Union. They set us up in a conference room, I think it was. I think it's the second floor, maybe third floor. But there's 200 people. This is back in a previous election cycle, not even this past decade. Hint, I'm a little old at this point here. Crazy looking building, isn't it? It's by an award-winning architect I don't remember the name of right now. Forget if this is new or not. Been a lot of updates construction here, so there are a few things that aren't quite super familiar for me. But there's not enough room in the conference hall, so they popped us over to the ballroom on the upper level. And it's roughly around in here. It was loud. There was a lot of noise. The acoustics in there totally suck. I remember this parking lot, this parking garage. I've sometimes took the elevator in it. There's an annoying hill here that I didn't much care for on some days, especially when it's cold and snowy. It's been a little bit warmer winter, so I don't know if it's quite this clear, but it could be more brown than green, of course, but it might not be white right now. Can we get over here, I wonder? I wonder, you let me jump over to... There we go. I come around in front here a little bit. Where was I? Oh yeah, so acoustics were terrible. It was a competitive primary, so there were multiple candidates vying for support. There was like over 200 of us, maybe even close to 300. I don't remember the exact numbers. The people have piled into that ballroom, and there was a problem. There was all of 3 delegates to award to the county convention, which is a little absurd, given the number of people that actually showed up there, but it is part of the zany, nonsensical thing that is the caucus system. So you probably heard plenty about the realignment process and things like that, and viability groups and things like that. Well, there's a lot of stuff that gets left out in those sort of top-level media discussions here. Like, sometimes the viability level isn't 15%, sometimes a little higher. And it all kind of depends on how many delegates you have to distribute. Say if your precinct only has 1 delegate, then there's only going to be 1 candidate who ends up getting it. So whoever has the most, the after realignment. So if anyone hits 50%, you're in. Let's make sure I'm actually on the road here. I want to progress up here. I believe there used to be another building around here back in the 60s or 70s that I believe got torn down or something like that. There might have been some protests involved. I don't remember the full story off the top of my head. There we go. Here we go. Here's the old capital. Iowa City used to be the state capital of Iowa before they moved it to Des Moines early in the state's history. And so that was the former Capitol building right there in the middle of the campus now. It's the gold dome up here was under repairs at one point, and some people working on it were trying to remove asbestos with a blowtorch, and it kind of burnt down. The dome, most of the building was left intact, but there was some smoke damage. Let's go this way. So where was I? Oh yeah, back to the caucus stuff here. So there might be situations where candidates kind of are SOL in particular precincts. In others, there's going to be plenty of delegates going on to the county convention that things will be fine. The library. The University of Iowa Library. I worked, I think it was on the second floor, in the special collections. Well, maybe it was the third floor. It was one of the upper two levels here. Not the fourth or fifth floor, though. It's only in the middle here. Great place. I got to hang out in the back rooms with all the old books and things like that. It's pretty sweet. So, yeah, after my caucus experience, I managed to get myself on the committees for the county convention, because at the precinct caucus, you nominate people to go on to the county convention as delegates, as well as to serve on various committees. And I managed to get on the Rules and Nomination Committee. And that was pretty sweet. Which meant I get to help write the rules for the county convention. And we streamlined them. We generally improved them overall. And made it a better thing. This is the Iowa City Mall, I think it is. There's Hills Bank here? Is that... There was a pizza place, sort of an arcade thing that had been moved up into the upper levels over here at one point. On the dime of the students of the university, private business. The university is like, hey, we got a slush fund. We can go pay a private business to relocate. That makes total sense. And nobody went because it was, at best, okay. Wasn't great at all. So I managed to get myself on the committee, the Rules and Nominations Committee. And so I managed to help get things ready for the county convention. The county convention, I was a sergeant of arms, which meant I helped sort of keep things in check. Wasn't too hard. Let's go. Where are we? Come on. There we go. I'm going to have to double click here. Where am I here? Okay. Thing come here. This is the pedestrian mall, by the way. Hence the people walking around and not necessarily so many cars here. So the county convention, it was an interesting experience. There was some craziness. There was some interesting folks who spoke at it, including candidates for sheriff of all things. But a lot of our sort of process as far as getting the rules and things like that written up took place here at the Iowa City Library, not the university one. It's a pretty cool library, public library and all that. So if you are coming through and like libraries, check out both of them, actually. Would be my recommendation. Anywho, so after the county convention, there we go. At the end of the line for the sidewalk. I managed to get myself as a delegate to the district convention and technically also the state convention, but fortunately I was too busy working at a particle accelerator to go to the state convention at the time. But I did go to the district convention. That was pretty sweet. A lot more boring than the county convention, honestly. The way they set up the voting for various platform issues was more convoluted than it needed to be, and was, I think I might want to go one more block down. Yeah. It's a little more convoluted than it was meant to be. Or maybe it's the other way. Forget. Let's go the other way. Whoop. Where are we? Okay, we're kind of getting back to the, yeah, we're back here again. So let's go back to this intersection. There we go. There we go. But eventually my ride had to go back, so I had to leave. So didn't know how the actual end of the convention went, but I did end up going for, oh yeah, Creamery ice cream. I've been there. I went, but I did run for elector, so I could have been one of those 538 potential folks to actually vote for president. I didn't get it. Went to a nice gal who had like campaign literature to hand out. Where is it? Keeping an eye out for something specific here. Is it here? Yes, Prairie Lights. You may have heard Live at Prairie Lights or whatever the name of it is on NPR. It's a book about books and authors and things like that. This is the actual Prairie Lights bookstore right here. It's pretty sweet. I've been in there. A teacher that I had in a couple classes actually read some of his poetry there. It was pretty sweet. It's part of the dealios there. One more thing on here. I hope it's still here. Maybe it's gone. There used to be a pizza place right around here. Is that it? I'm not sure. Oh well. Guess maybe it's not here anymore. But anywho. And so at the end of the convention there, that was, I guess, my temporary brush with crazy upper levels of the process there. But it was a rewarding experience. But still, I rather dislike the totality of the Iowa caucuses due to the thing I mentioned before, that sometimes you can just be completely out of luck. You could just have problems where your candidate's unviable in your precinct, and we're told over and over again, it's 15%, 15%. You have 15% there, but there's only 2 delegates to award, and the group with the 26% over there has gets one, and the group with the 23% gets one, and you with your 20% don't. So it's just kind of how it goes. This is the physics building, Van Allen Hall. I've technically met James Van Allen before he passed away. I took a bunch of my classes there. And there's a lounge right around here that I used to nap after during a couple of my classes there, and people would come in and out constantly, and I'd be like there going, and because I sleep apnea and all that, so. Glad I got some water here. Mouth's getting a little dry. And people come in and out during the mornings because there's people getting coffee, people getting snacks, people working on stuff, and all sorts of coolness here. I think it was along this stretch of road here. Past one day, Reza Aslan, who was on had that show on CNN called Believer. He was actually a student/teacher at the university at the time, and I recognized him because I actually was in his class at the time, and I kind of nodded to him, and he's like, "Hi." It was cold out. I think he wanted to be places, and he didn't recognize me at all. So that was kind of weird. Yeah. So yeah, the Iowa caucuses. So you might be wondering why I made this video, because, well, one, I want to give you guys a little walking tour of the campus here. We're back at the central green area here. The old Capitol is right behind these trees. Let's go this way. It's the Papa John building. I don't remember if it's that Papa John, but if, it probably is you. It's an old, I think it's Episcopalian church, maybe? And then there's Lutherans around here somewhere as well, but anywho, so it's also, caucus day and all that, and figured I'd get out something, and getting back in the swing of video making is a good idea and all of that. Let's go for the dorms here. Yeah, we've done an almost complete loop here. Slater? No, Reno and Slater on the other side. I forget the name of this one. It's too fuzzy here. It's not... Dom. Oh, yeah, Dom. It's the Dom, man. Oh, man, I forgot these things. And here's Burge Hall, the dining hall in the back. I used to live in the basement. Long story. And Courier over here. Yes. Courier Hall. Kind of an old building. Not so bad. I believe at some point the road level used to be flush with this door here, but things have changed over the years. So yeah, I know I've been overall fairly, I guess, quiet about who I'm supporting and things like that in the primary system here. Let's go ahead and jump over here for maybe our last arrival here. I had a whole video planned out for basically a few days before this one came out, but given I kind of fell apart and then I looked at the script a lot and more and this really isn't working, I decided to scrap it. I do want to do more grand strategy politics stuff in the future, but I need to be in a better state of mind for that. But what I am in a state of mind is for making my endorsement, which I did promise at the end of the previous essay video there. This isn't an essay video officially, but figured I'd get something together. So this is before the front door of the Iowa Writers Workshop, where writers go. I'll go ahead and give you guys my 411 here. So, as I often try to argue in various places, my overall writing motivation, before all things in politics, is the preservation and promotion of democracy. So that's one of the reasons I also kind of don't like the Iowa caucuses. It's a very convoluted system that can produce results that are highly unrepresentative of the people that are participating. Again, you could have a situation where hundreds of people show up for very few delegates, or a few people show up for a whole bunch of delegates, and that's not fair at all. They are getting better about the reporting of these things, but that's how it's going to translate is still going to be the same at the end of the day, and that's not good. So I'll go ahead and ding that and use it as my sort of proof positive of my commitment to democracy itself, because democracy is the thing that allows us to hold our government accountable. It is what allows us to express our will as a people, as a nation, into the government, and to make it our tool as opposed to us being used by the government or the people within it. So democracy is very important to me, and I will always put it as my number one priority. So obviously this is going to ding, say, any Republican running for the next probably century, I'm guessing at this point. Maybe longer. I don't see the MO changing there at all. So I'll be aiming to vote in the Democratic primaries, and to that end, I have to make a decision. And once again, starting with that as my primary initial bit there, I'll come out and say it. I'm going to be pulling for Warren. I do believe she is the one who is both most capable of expanding and defending democracy as a candidate and as a president. Some people are better at one of these than the other, as well as the person who is most, I guess, realistic about how to do it. I don't mean realistic as like, oh, I'm a pragmatist. No, I mean there are certain things that are going on that need a proper response. And, like people say, oh, Sanders is great for democracy. He is woefully naive as far as the opposition he is going to be facing. His reluctance to, say, question the filibuster is kind of a good bit of proof of that. He wants to be a coalition builder. That's great. But there does come a point where there is more at stake than your personal political coalition guy. So unfortunately, it can't be Sanders, and I have to go with Warren instead. So she is someone that I, have a lot of match with. I don't match any candidate 100% on everything, but I will go for nearest neighbor if possible. And if there is a need for a strong bit of democracy defending here, I will go for the person who is most capable for that. Is my number one priority. And if you trust democracy to be a good thing, I hope it's one of your high priorities. I know everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have different priorities. Stanley Hall here, I lived there for a little bit too. But come on, can we get a little bit further? Are we at the end of the line here? Not quite. We're almost there. Let's try to get down. I want to get down. There we go. Think about your own priorities, and I'm endorsing Warren, and you guys might disagree with me. That's fine. Not looking to make a debate out of this, I guess. But if you guys got questions, feel free to float them, I guess. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I thought about making a whole list of things, particular things, but you guys are smart. You can check out candidates' websites. I trust you to be at least decent on that there. So hope you enjoyed my little walking tour, my spouting off about random things, from my experiences and facts about Iowa City here, as well as the caucus stuff, my own experiences there as well. And no matter who ends up winning it in the end, be it the Iowa caucuses, the primary in general, I ask that you come together at the end and unite behind the new nominee. Independent of who the Democrats nominate, even if it's someone I detest, having any change of power away from the current administration is necessary for the survival of our democracy. And once again, democracy is my number one priority, so I will continue to push for that. So, please, feel free to fall in love, but understand that someone is going to be disappointed at the end of the day, at the end of the primary process, and we need to be able to work together to finally defeat the monster that is the Republican Party. So get out there, get out and vote, and try not to lose perspective here, because I worry that people are. Beautiful here, isn't it? I think so. Anyway, that's me, Dr. Isaacs, putting out a kind of unusual video here. Till next, everybody. Toodles. Woohoo!